Welcome back, Legion, to episode 4 of A Legend of the Five Rings Season 2. We have returned to tell stories and have adventures in the Emerald Empire of Rokugan during the Chrysanthemum Throne era. We have arrived at Shiroyogasa, the Emerald Palace. All of our players are together once again, having just witnessed the coronation of Togashi Daishi, the new Topaz champion. For our new viewers who may be just seeing this for the first time, everyone starting with Dave, please introduce your characters.
Good afternoon, morning, evening, or whatever. I'm Dave, and I am playing the Honorable Shiba Kinsuke, a bodyguard type um, character.
Hello everyone, I'm Big Mike. I'm one of the people who runs D20 Live. Today I will be playing Bayushi Kachiko, a character everyone fucking hates, despite the fact that he is very charming.
Very much so.
Hi everybody, I'm Sam, the production manager, and today I'm playing Akoto Shizuka of the Lion Clan. I got this correct this time.
I've gotten my own character names as I rewatch episodes in preparation for stream. Like, that's not the right NPC. Getting an NPC name actually is a player name, and I'm like, oh, that's confusing. And last but not least, our Topaz champion, Dom.
Hello, I am Dom. I am playing Togashi Daishi of the Dragon Clan, Topaz champion, and overall moral compass of the group.
All around nice guy.
Yeah.
So you're standing currently now in the audience hall. It is a large audience hall, nowhere near as grand as, say, the Imperial Palace is, for those such as Dakio who have actually visited the Imperial Palace in their time, and not as grand as perhaps some of the Crane clan palaces, but it is well appointed in its own space and it is more than large enough to have an audience that is capable of holding court. So this court is being overseen by Bayushi Yojiro, who is the ranking Yoriki, or ranking chief magistrate of the Emerald Palace, since the champion has passed on and is dead. Accompanying him is the Ruby champion Agasha Sumiko. While not your formal host, is essentially the person who is in charge of this castle until the tournament, the Emerald Tournament, determines who the new lead Emerald champion would be. All of you are in attendance. There is a large number of individuals of various ranks and clans all here. You have Akoto Totori. You have Doji Hotaru, who is the champion of the Crane clan, who is also here. You have Isawa Kaide and various others. Yes.
Devin, I have a question just because this was a thing that got flipped. You said Doji Hotaru, so we're dealing with the female incarnation of the Doji.
The female incarnation. Yes,
okay,
yes.
Cool.
So as opposed to Doji Hotori, that got flipped.
I have down that Agasha Miyuki is the Ruby champion, but you just said Agasha Sumiko.
I said Miyuki? Sorry, then it is Miyuki. Like I said in the intro, I get my names mixed up.
There's a lot of names, Devin.
And of course, there is also Yukimi, Daishi's hopeful love interest, Doji Kuwanen, the brother of the Crane Clan champion, among many others. All in attendance, all guarded by the Sipun guardsmen around the rim of the hall, and the servants and eta who are moving about with food and drink. There are plenty of places to sit, plenty of quiet corners to have conversation, and so forth. In this space, with a number of people approaching Daishi to bow and congratulate him on his coronation. The rest of you stand in the audience, either together if you choose, or with other members of your clan, as the formal ceremony wraps up and it becomes more of a traditional court session. Dave, I would like you to make a perception roll, please. Just raw perception. Right. No investigation needed.
Okay, so that's oh wait.
And while Dave does that, is there anything else that others would like to do so I can plan ahead? Anyone who Shizuka or who Dakio would like to approach or speak to?
I want to say hello to Shizuka. It's been such a long time. Wonderful Akoto Shizuka. It has been so delightful to see you. I have missed our conversations.
Have you?
Yes, I know you haven't missed mine. I can see it clearly on your face. But don't worry. I'm sure I can change your opinion about me through nothing but the tireless diligence of Ibushi.
All right. I would love to see how that would work.
Give him time. Kinsuke, you see across the way, among the ranks of the Sapoon guardsmen. One figure in particular stands out to you. He is a full head taller than most of the Sapoon, has a traditional strong top knot and full kabuto armor. He is standing with a secondary flag in addition to the flagpole on his left. For the Sapoon family, he has a secondary rank flag marking him off as the head of the Sapoon detachment. This is likely Sapoon Ishikawa, who Isawa Kaide spoke to you of.
Very interesting. Now, am I currently resuming my post as guarding?
You are. Yeah,
Okay.
you are. You have your post, resuming your post as Kaide's guard.
Would I be able to make take a moment to pay my respects to Sapoon?
You certainly can. Kaide gives you leave to do so.
Thank you, mistress.
Thank you for taking the initiative, she says.
At that, I will give a very polite bow to Kaede-san, and I will make my way over to, you said his name was Sapoon
Ishikawa. Yeah. As long as I have my own names right.
Doing a great job, Devin.
All right.
So I'm going to do a quick once around, make sure there's no immediate threats to Kaede. Then I'm going to walk over and pay my respects to Sapoon Ishikawa.
Okay, you can keep your initial perception roll because you're just perpetually going to be on guard, unless you want to try and get a higher one, risking a potential lower roll. You do notice that there is the Unicorn Clan contingent that is here. There are a number of Shugenja who are in attendance here. No one in particular stands out to you, but you definitely see that there is a tension between the Unicorn faction and the Phoenix faction. The Unicorn are moving about, paying a little too much attention to Kaide in particular, and some of the rest of the Phoenix contingent. You do notice that as you pass by, they're making glances. No one's moving in a threatening manner towards them, but they're watching them.
I would imagine that being in the presence of a Void Shugenja is awe-inspiring and a little off-putting.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're not sure if there's more to it than that, but you definitely sense that as you're with that role as you're passing through the court.
Yeah, definitely going to file that for sooner than later investigation. But yes, I'd like to continue over to Sapoon Ishikawa.
Well, it's not easy to talk to the void. It's like, what do you see? I see the curve of space. Rock on! I'm gonna go.
Okay, we're good. All right. Yeah.
The void touches all. It is next to you. Okay.
It is next to you. It is all around you. It is inside you, and yet not.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
I'm gonna go over here now.
Ishikawa sama is a definitely intimidating figure. He casts a long shadow, and his armor doesn't actually help that. You approach him and you realize how tall he is. He's not quite the height of some of the Crab Clan members who are in attendance today, though few there are. But he is a prominent individual. He turns towards you as you approach, and seems to assess everything from the steps that you are making to where your hand is in relative position to your katana, how you carry yourself, everything. And doesn't respond. He just simply gives a small nod of his head in recognition, expecting you to actually say something.
So I will begin with a very polite and respectful bow at the waist. Sapoon Ishikawa, I presume.
You would be correct.
I would like to pay my most sincere and heartfelt respect to you and the Hidden Guard for all that you have done protecting the Empire. Now, the letter that I got at the end of the Topaz Championship.
Yes.
Was
It
that
your invitation?
Invitation? Yes. I would like to bring that up. Because that didn't set any hard deadlines or when to show up, or
No.
that I'm on their books as being an aspirant.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you hand him the letter?
Yes, with both hands, I present it
He watches your posture as you present the letter and takes it with his left hand.
Do we see this, the rest of us?
Yes, you can. If you choose to pay attention to Kinsuke, yeah, Sepun Nishikawa doesn't put on airs, so he almost like snatches the letter, but it's more of an economy of efficiency in his movements.
Yep.
Grabs it.
No wasted movements.
No, exactly. He snaps open the seal and unrolls it. His eyes scan the document. You're close enough to him, Kinsuke, that you can feel and see his shoulders square a little bit, and there's a tension that has come into his posture. Daishi, you can also see this if you were watching. Or Dakio, you can see this if you're watching. Daishi's more surrounded by all the niceties and the courtiers from every clan. I see Totori-sama was the one who recommended you for this position. And he takes a brief, sharp intake of breath through his nose. I will consider it. And he pushes the scroll back into your chest.
I receive it. That is all I asked. Thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Of course. You can make an etiquette roll if you would like.
Damn, I don't have any of that.
And if Shizuka, any of the other players, I'll say Daishi has a higher TN because he's surrounded by distractions. But the rest of the players can the rest of you can make an etiquette roll if you would like as well, just to get a read on this situation before Kinsuke leaves.
Oh yeah, I don't know which spoon to use in this situation. I don't have any etiquette. Is there a flat roll I can throw out there, or?
Etiquette is based off of your
Same.
awareness, so you can make a raw awareness roll.
Okay, so that's 3-3. Go.
Whoa.
Holy crapperoni.
Whoa.
Whoa. Never
Whoa.
mind. He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. He doesn't need us.
Yeah.
I
okay.
guessed right.
Kinsuke, you don't know enough about the interclan, especially imperial politics. Most people don't know about the imperial families in general. Sepun is one of the imperial families, but you don't touch people in Rokugani society. And he either as a person, as I said, doesn't put on airs and doesn't care about it. But when he actually hands it back to you, he almost he touches you with the outside of his knuckles. It's almost like a small punch when he puts the scroll back in your chest. And it's like, I will consider it.
He doesn't like who was the guy who endorsed Totori? He doesn't like Totori. Oh no.
And at the same time, he takes his hand off and very subtly waves you away, and two of the Sepun guards immediately step up in front of him as if to say, you're done talking right now.
Yeah, with a quickness in my step, I step away because he's about to do something.
Yeah.
He's got more pressing things than my resume. And I'm going to do as quick a step as I can back to my post with Kaede.
Dakio, your role is for this instead. You see that situation, so you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Shizuka, you also see this pass by, but your role is not high enough to get all of the to catch this. But you do see that situation pass and that tension between the commander and Kinsuke. You saw that pass as he leaves, and the moment that that Kinsuke arrives back with Kaede and gives a bow to Kaede, and Kaede bows in return, you catch a momentary glance between Kaede and Ishikawa, and your roll is high enough that you see that Kaede actually gives him a slightly stern, reproachful glance, and Ishikawa nods his head ever so subtly in acknowledgement. It was an unspoken chiding by Kaede of the commander of the Hidden Garden. You don't know why, and unfortunately, having just been reproached as he was, Kinsuke didn't catch it. Shizuka, would you like to do anything before we move on? Just in court, you have a lot of different people who you could potentially meet. You have people you can interact with, but I do have, this is more of a personal choice. I have hooks that I will be throwing out later.
Is there anybody in particular for the, what was it, the Emerald, what am I thing for? Emerald Magistrate?
You're the Emerald Magistrate to become a police officer. The current head, without the tournament having been done, is the Ruby Champion, Akasha Miyuki. And then there's several other Emerald Magistrates all around, unnamed NPCs who are all over the court.
So, but approaching the Ruby Champion just under the assumption that I can talk to them going like, oh yes, thank you for allowing this to happen. I don't know if that's a good idea. Hang on. Should I roll an etiquette roll and see if...
Go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
The TN is, I'll give this as a TN 10. Do you want to make any raises on it?
Did you want help?
Good question. Yes.
Okay. Devin, how can I help with the etiquette?
You can make an etiquette roll as well, and she would get a free raise if you succeed on the roll.
Okay.
Sure. A one keep one raise, right?
It's one keep. No, it's a +5. A free raise is whatever her roll is. It's a +5.
I'm typing it in now because I want to help this woman so she eventually believes that I actually like her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And
9.
Shizuka, go ahead and make your roll. Your base TN is 10.
I don't think that... Hang on. Well, it worked.
You got it.
You got it? Okay. You see that the Ruby Champion hasn't actually acknowledged your presence since you arrived. She acknowledged the magistrate who you traveled with, and Nutter had a conversation with her. Dakio, you take one quick glance at the Ruby Champion, the magistrate, and the surrounding circumstances, and you catch a few glances among the other magistrates of why is she here?
The Akoto or the Ruby Champion?
The Ruby Champion doesn't seem to be giving this point of view, but several Emerald magistrates are glaring at her. There's subtle anger and mixture of anger and hesitation and frustration and...
At Shizuka or the Ruby Champion?
Oh, it's Shizuka. I apologize. I misunderstood your question. At Shizuka. So there is considerable tension, and if the magistrates know about it, then that means the Ruby Champion does as well. She could try, and I'm not going to discourage a player from trying to improve their standing or roleplay, but there's going to be some challenges associated with it because of her reputation.
Honorable Akoto,
Yes?
would you like me to assist you speaking to the Ruby Champion?
For the purposes of...
Introducing.
trying to just introduce myself and hopefully that I won't be discouraged from being in the Emerald Magistrate.
If you like to look at it that negatively.
It might help.
Of course. Besides, I want to help you and get it done because at some point the Honorable Togashi has to speak to Bayushi Kachiko, and I can't miss that because it's going to be funny. Now,
All right.
I want to hear him apologize to me afterwards about Eva saying I was a pain in the ass scorpion. Now,
So essentially, it's twofold. You're helping me at the same time while also getting closer to Hiram.
one should do as much good as they can in their life.
So said Shinsei.
Because
Shinsuke 2021.
All right. Sure. Let's go.
so I know that at the championship I got stabbed to stop the Harrier.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
me standing with Akoto
You got
Shizuka.
you got stabbed, but you also remember that Wakao was nearly killed by Shizuka's own blade. But
I'm the one who caught the Harrier.
Shizuka, and Daishi were all the ones who caught the Harrier, mainly yourself.
So
Yeah.
I'm lending credence and helping smooth it over. So I'm going to use etiquette to do the introduction.
Okay. I'll
And
put it at, considering where her reputation is at the moment, she's still honorable, but
Yeah.
it's a question like a full honor rank loss because of the Topaz Championship is significant. So I'll throw the TN at 20. Do you want to make any raises?
not at a TN of 20.
Okay.
Actually, let's take it to TN 25.
Okay. All right. So you're making.
I want to clear the air and I want to get Shizuka back up on the block.
Sounds good. All right. You're going for TN 25. Are you spending any void points?
No, not yet.
You only have 2.
Yeah, no, that's why I said not yet. We are. I only have so many, and we have crises probably.
Eventually.
It'll happen. It always happens. D10 K4. I have the power. Here we go. Dakio!
Ooh.
Oh, look at that explosion. Nice. Okay.
Oh, it didn't explode, so I have to re-roll the 10, right?
Yeah.
Reroll
wait.
10,
Because
yeah.
I forgot to put the
You
six.
succeeded.
That's fine.
It's a shoot.
6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, you forgot the
Yeah, 3. So it's 33.
Okay. 33. You passed the raised TN. So what were you hoping to get with that raise?
As I introduce her to the Ruby Champion, I want to rewrite the narrative about her in regards to the tournament by saying less that she was deceived and more, this poor, tragic woman. She should be honored. She should be pushed ahead. She should be given a chance now in the honorable valley of the court or whatever bullshit kind of thing. It's a how dare this woman's greatness be compromised by the treachery of a psychotic harrier that had gone mad.
Okay. All right. Go ahead And unless you like, that's you.
That's how,
rolled
because I
that
want to
into
give
it.
Sam more chance to. I want to
Sounds
say
good.
that that's
Okay.
how Dacio
So you
frames
you
it.
give the you
so
give
Sam
the
can do the
introduction.
dialogue.
You give the introduction. The magistrate who is with you in Suma, Shizuka, does the initial introduction as well as Daishi and then or Dakio, and then Dakio adds to it. Agasha Sumiko is a stern-faced woman. Her hair is not pulled back at all. It sweeps down past her shoulders, and as a result, she looks quite strong and stern in her armor. But has, over the course of this introduction, a little bit of empathy. Shizuka, you can tell whatever struggle she's having to deal with right now, Dakio has hit a note, whatever that note may be, of another individual who is struggling right now due to weight of concerns. And she gives an actually more than nod of a head. She actually gives a slight bow at the waist. Welcome to Shio Yogasha, Akoto Shizuka-san.
And I bow further.
As is demanded by honor.
Yes.
She looks to Dakio and dismisses him. Thank you, Dakio-san. Koto-san, she actually says, how well do you know Togashi Daishi, our new Topaz champion? Would you consider yourself friends and allies? Would you consider him someone who you work well with?
I would consider him a close ally.
Good. I have concerns about certain aspects of his reputation that I have heard circling among the court. I heard that there was a small brawl at Suma. Some of the crab contingent have hinted that he brawled with some Ronin. Is that true?
I will not lie. Yes, he did.
I'm
Isn't
glad
the
we are starting off
consequence
on the
of
right
your
foot, and you
actions.
do not lie to me.
Did I do that?
Yeah, you did.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to say that you did it for money, but I'm going to say you did it.
Say he did it on behalf of the honor.
He did do it because the Ronin were being very obstinate about us being fairly new samurai.
See,
So he was trying to prove his honor.
so he does have a bit of pride, but not entirely misplaced, as they are Ronin and should know better. All right, I have a small insofar as very few people can know about this, but an important one. If you wish to have an opportunity to restore what has been taken from you, as Dakyo-san so keenly put, please go extricate Daishi-san from his current predicament. I worry over the people who are approaching him for a discussion. And come to my chambers in about an hour or so. I need to make my rounds. And she leaves you with another bow and leaves you to your business. Daishi, you have a lot of people who are approaching you. One in particular, Yukimi, very briefly says, "Do try and put on your best face for this court. I know sometimes court life can be very difficult, and I understand and respect what this first night was, but understand that there is something better coming afterwards. I will take you to see some friends of mine."
Are you suggesting I have an unfavorable face, Kitsuki-san?
I'm saying that you have, aside from your lovely poetry and way with words, you have an unfavorable manner at times. But I think you can muddle your way through. Just don't bring up dice or cards, from what I understand. There were rumors in Suma.
Understood.
I'll see you later on tonight. I'll take you to see some friends of mine who are now going to become friends of yours, and it'll be a much more relaxed environment. I'll see you.
Kitsugi-san, your words and your concern, as well as your wit, I find to be as sharp as my sword after applying the oil you gave me. So thank you for your honesty.
You'll need to keep that honesty in your role, as much as it will be. It can be a very distasteful. This role can sometimes be a very distasteful experience. Speaking of, I'll leave you to your next guest. And she leaves. And as she leaves,
don't be Toku. Don't be Toku.
Oh no, Toku's not here. You don't see Toku.
Okay.
He wouldn't be allowed in here.
Yeah, Toka wouldn't be allowed in here. You see the woman who I spoke of, the scorpion woman who I spoke of, who was standing on the dais with the mixed scorpion and imperial mon.
Is this
She has
Bayushi Aramoru?
Nope, that is the brother of the champion. This is his wife.
Right.
And
Bayushi
she
Kachiko?
Kachiko.
Yeah.
You know her to be the reason she has a mixed kimono is you know her to be the advisor to the formal advisor to Hante the 38th.
Holy shit.
She approaches you. The only mask that she has on doesn't cover her mouth at all. The only thing that covers her face is a single mask that has flitting lovely embroidery coming up entwined with gems, and despite the fact that you have all these gems covering her otherwise silken mask, for some reason it doesn't fall. Her outfit for the court is very brazen. She is wearing the cut of it shows as she is walking forward, shows the entirety of her left leg as every step she takes with her left leg. It's acceptable in court because she makes it acceptable. And same as leaving the lower half of her face open, she makes it acceptable, and no one questions her because of her status. And she's basically showing off a lot of her body with the cut of her kimono and how she wears it and how she moves.
You okay, Dom?
Her attendant introduces herself with her full title and her full name, yada yada yada. She doesn't.
I'm expected to give a very deep bow.
Yeah. She's to give. You are status 5 out of 10. She's status 8 out of 10. In terms of the society. Yeah, in terms of the status of the.
I'm nearly on the floor with my bow.
Oh, that's not necessary at all. Please stand. A simple bow at the waist would be enough, and this is actually a bit excessive. You do yourself a disservice. Get up. Please, get up.
My sincerest apologies.
Why are you apologizing? You've done nothing wrong. You are very ignorant in the ways of the court for now, and that is acceptable. That is understandable. It is normal for someone hailing from the mountains. Anyway, you'll come to understand the ways of the city in time, and the ways of the court in time. I can be a help with that, if you would like.
Daishi in his head is just going, Scorpion.
The most fucking dangerous scorpion.
I fear I would be foolish and insulting if I were to deny whatever advice or wisdom you wish to present upon me.
I will leave you with a good introduction, knowledge that I am a friend, and that if you would have me, that I am an ally, if you would like it, and that every moment in court is its own little story, and all the stories are interconnected. That is what I will leave you with, and you have become a very important player in that story. Oh, what's this? And she sees Shizuka approach. Make a awareness roll. Or investigation, I'll give you this.
Who?
You.
Don't have investigation, so it's just gonna have to be awareness.
Okay. As she becomes aware of Shizuka approaching, she pulls out her fan, covers her mouth, and whispers something to her attendant. Make a roll to see if you can catch it.
17.
Nice. Okay. The snap open of her fan was meant to muffle the noise of her talking, but you do catch just a hint of what she says, like Totori's pet project. How delightful. And snaps the fan back open again. Okodo Shizuka-san. How are you?
I'm going to bow deeply.
Fuck.
Sorry, she's Doji, right?
I know she's
Kachiko, babe.
But I'm going to bow very deeply, and I go, my apologies, Bayushi-sama.
Everyone here apologizes. We are all equals in the court to a greater or lesser extent. We are samurai. Unlike the only thing that would make any of us equal or less than would be those who deign it appropriate to become involved with ronin, peasants, other such like. Then she leaves that hanging for Daishi. So please, as an equal, what do you have to say? And she waits for you to reply.
My apology is the only reason why I'm apologizing is because I unfortunately need to take Togashi-sama away. Agasha-sama has requested him in her private chambers.
Has she? That's quite impressive. Usually it takes her a few days to warm up to her new little errand boy. I bid you all farewell. Wonderful court, wonderful tournament. Sadly, we will not get to actually see you, Shizuka-san, participate in this tournament. You performed so well, from what I understand, last time.
I appreciate it.
Of course. And she bows and walks away with her attendant, leaving the two of you and the rest of the hangers-on who were previously giving a huge amount of space to Daishi and Kachiko's conversation now slowly start coming in.
As she, walks away, I just kind of turn to Shizuka and I'm like, just an expression that says, "What a bitch!"
You have no fucking idea.
I really don't.
You really don't.
My apologies, Akoto-san. Who requested me? I missed that in the flurry, much like a snowstorm in the flurry of whatever storm just passed through.
I believe it's called a shitstorm.
Agasha Sumiko-sama, the Ruby champion. Technically, all of our bosses.
Right. Well, let's not keep her waiting. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. It's been a night.
I fear that I have the feeling that it's only just beginning.
I would agree. I would very much agree. I can only assume that you are also being very inundated with questions.
As heavy as the questions may be, believe it or not, this armor is heavier. I'm honored to have it, but I find it difficult to wear. Certainly going to need to get used to it.
You'll be fine. Now come, I will escort you.
And I follow.
Devin,
So
does
it's the night-
Kachiko even look in my direction at all?
She does. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't approach you at
She
all.
wouldn't.
Aside to she chooses to deign you with no conversation, anything else whatsoever.
I do bow respectfully as she passes by.
And she actually gives you not quite an equal bow, but a much deeper waisted bow than she gives to anyone else outside of the Scorpion Clan contingent.
There's so many catty things I could say right now, but I do not need to go to war with this woman and die like that. Honorable Bayushi-sama, your outfit seems to be missing fabric. I know a great tailor, but no, I do not need that shit on my plate right now from this woman.
But she seems to just not
Good.
deem you worthy of her attention at the moment.
Good.
So as the
Good.
night goes on, As the night goes on, Kinsuke, your presence is requested in a side chamber, and Daishi, your presence is also requested, and you're given instructions rather than leaving the audience hall where everyone can see you and where you're going. Those are the instructions given to Kinsuke. It's like, go to this adjoining apartment. There's a lot of adjoining apartments in the main audience hall for a private conversation. You were told, leave the audience hall, go around the building, come back in this way, go that way, take this side hall in the middle of, between two walls, and arrive at the same destination. But don't be seen. Whereas
geez.
Kinsuke is just told, go here. The two of you are brought to a room with neither of you have met this individual before, but Dakyo, you immediately recognize him as Bayushi Ojiro, the host of the tournament, and both of you are brought in. But before you are brought in, you see each other outside the hallway for a moment.
Thank you, son. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you, Shiba-san.
I see we've both been invited to the same antechamber meeting.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of nuance in this conversation. You'll find it very frustrating.
Absolutely no doubt in that. I hope you will give me cues and clues and kicks if I start to make a fool of myself.
While I sincerely doubt that you will make a fool of yourself, I will do everything in my power to ensure that you are not put within a disadvantageous situation.
I thank you so much.
No worries, we're scorpions. It's not fun playing our game when you're not versed in it. God's sakes, Togashi was talking to Kachiko. I'm amazed. Well, he didn't catch a venereal disease. That's the important thing.
Weaponized VD.
She fucking is. I'm sorry. Are we wrong about what this woman has done?
No.
This woman's vaginas cause more problems for Rokugan than Fu Lang. Sorry. God, I need to get that out of my system.
All right.
Oh, God, I hate
God damn
Kachiko
it.
so much. She makes
So-
all Scorpion look real bad.
Oh,
Real bad.
God.
You're both brought into the presence of a scorpion, of Bayushi Yojiro. Kinsuke, this is the first time you've seen any scorpion without any kind of mempo, any kind of mask. He just has a very high collar, almost looks like, for lack of a better term, a vampire's cape. It goes up to about halfway up his head, and has beautiful points, and sort of comes cascading out down the front. And it's a lovely riot of oranges and reds all about it. And his hair is pulled back in a very simplistic top knot.
It's
But-
Van Zarovich.
Yes. Yes.
I thought you were going to make a
No,
joke about how
but-
edgy he was.
No, it's not.
Now we have Yojiro,
Okay.
who has Strahd accent. No, please, gentlemen, sit. I have requests to make of you and some instructions that were passed on from he who I have come to work with. Please sit. And at the same time, Shizuka and Daishi, you are brought into a separate room. When you step inside, there's actually a larger audience. There's actually a larger audience chamber attached to this one. You enter into this audience chamber first, much smaller than the main one, and this has been where you've seen people who have left main court after several hours have all come to congregate here. They are a mixture of ages and clans, and all about this room. And they're all mixing around tables. Some of them are playing dice. Some of them are playing with various small discs, moving them about a Go board, and they seem to be having a much more relaxed time than the more formal setting of the Imperial Assembly that you have just left. Two guards welcome you both, and one of them says to Shizuka, Shizuka-san, you will enter this room to meet with Sumiko-sama, but I must ask that after you are done with your meeting, that you leave immediately. Daishi-san, you are welcome to stay.
Thank you.
The guards escort the two of you to the room, and you're brought in to meet with Agasha Sumiko.
the way you described that room made it sound like Sunday for competitive conversation.
My name is Dakio, not Daishi Devin.
No, I know. Daishi is with Daishi is. Did
know.
I say Daishi?
You keep mixing
You've
up
mixed
between
it
the
You
up.
two.
said Daishi and Kinsuke. Dakio's with Kinsuke. Daishi's
Dakio's
with
with Kinsuke.
Daishi is with
Yeah.
Shizuka.
Why did we both
Why did you choose
names
names
with
that are
D?
so close?
Because it means compromise in Japanese. That's why I picked it. Jesus.
Takio and Kinsuke are sitting with Yujiro. He presents you both with a bowl of rice and with tea, both freshly prepared. Gentlemen, have you both eaten?
I have not. Thank you very much for the refreshments.
And certainly
course,
not enough
please.
within such fine company.
I also have not had the honor of speaking with you in person, Dakio-san.
I bow
What's this guy's name?
This is Bayushi Yojiro. He is
Okay.
he is an Emerald Magistrate. He's a Rokugani policeman. Dakio knows him by a more colloquial name within the clan, but
Yeah.
but he's an Emerald Magistrate and is reputed to be a good person to everyone who he meets. Hence, or at the very least, very courteous.
He's nice. I wouldn't trust him, but he's nice.
Please sit.
Thank you.
I have some instructions to give, and then the rest. And I don't want to keep the two of you from court, so I will keep this brief. After the instructions, you may ask me any questions that you have, and I'll put you on your way. But after I leave, you are more than welcome to stay and enjoy the refreshments if you have not finished. A friend of mine has come into a recent bit of information, and that information has interested him as well as worried him. And he wishes for the two of you to actually do a few things as a result of that information. Kinsuke-san, you are to very closely watch Isawa Kaite, as is part of your duties, but to ensure that the unicorn contingent does not in any way threaten her person or try and draw her into any arguments or conversations that may result in a duel. The second thing for the both of you is there is a young man here named Bayushi Dairu. That's Dairu. Bayushi Dairu is very well thought of and, well, although most don't know it publicly because he's been kept out of the limelight for a long time, he is actually the son, Dakio-san, of our champion and our Lady Kachiko. He has simply not been formally recognized in court a great deal. He has become a friend of the two imperial heirs through the influence of his mother, and he is now at court much against the wishes of his father. Kachiko-sama didn't agree with our champion, and so brought him anyway. He is being watched over by our champion's brother, Bayushi Aramoro, who is also in attendance. But Aramoro is possessed of a combative nature, and I believe our champion believes that there is a concern about his influence, about the boy's uncle's influence on his growth. Our heir's son being in the presence of both his mother and his uncle without the oversight of his father at this tournament is of concern to our champion. So, if the two of you could watch over him, Bayushi Shoju-sama heard Kinsuke-san of your performance in Suma and of your skill as a bodyguard as well. And while he is not formally requesting you and bringing you into his service, he would not be allowed to do so. He simply asked as a favor that you watch over his son.
I will keep my eyes on both my charge and the young sir.
I'm going to make an investigation roll. He mentioned a friend with a concern. I'm going to roll investigate to try and figure out who that friend might be.
TN, I'll give it a 20, because you're both of it. So a hard roll because you're both practice courtiers. Okay. The friend is likely someone who's not within the Scorpion clan. And that's only because he brought in Kinsuke. So it's someone who, and if it's a purely Scorpion matter, then they would just have Scorpion watching over and ensuring that things get done. But the fact that Kinsuke has been brought in, and the fact that he's being told to watch closely over Kaide, you can start to draw some threads as to who his friend is.
Can I at least guess the clan?
Yeah.
Which clan?
Yeah, you can. It's definitely a lion.
Okay. There's only one person then if it's a lion.
Well, it's lion, maybe phoenix, but the fact that he's being told to watch over Kaide and ensure that Kaide doesn't get drawn into duels
without it being directly coming from the phoenix means it's not a phoenix order. It means it comes from a different clan. That has to be lion.
Exactly.
Which means it has to be Totori. In my
very
mind.
likely, yeah, given the person.
Which means
he knows something about the unicorn.
No, it also means he talks to Totori in private, which is a concern. And we might need to have a talk later. So
there are so many Bayushis here.
There's so many Bayushi and then D names.
Yes.
We really, well, thanks to Kachiko, we really like the D.
Wow.
We didn't until she came along. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop making fun of Kachiko. I was left in the room with a gun with 2 bullets when there was Fu Lang and Ichiban and Kachiko. I'd shoot Kachiko twice.
Just to make sure. So I'll give the two of you a moment to think of any questions that you have, and I'll jump back to Shizuka and Daishi.
Okay.
I have to say, Shizuka-san, the words of your friend Dakio-san struck a chord. This has not been easy since Doji Satsume-sama passed on. You know that to be the old Emerald Champion, her boss. It's like, it has not been easy for me, and I am not always looked upon in a very friendly manner. I'm being viewed as a placeholder, and that does not sit well with me. However, because I am of the role that I am the Ruby Champion, I cannot be seen as interfering or investigating directly in a matter that is so close to my position. my enemies in court could use that, and could use that against me. So instead, I am going to ask the two of you to investigate something. It is my understanding that Satsume-sama was not actually had not actually died of natural causes, but in fact that he was murdered. And I believe that his killer is here at the tournament. If you want an opportunity to become a member of the Emerald Magistrate, Shizuka-san, and to restore your honor, it needs to be done in such a way that you find out who this individual is, what reason Doji-sama was murdered, and at the same time do it in such a way that would not draw shame to his clan. He had a great deal many enemies, and not even I was privy as to why. If it came to light as to why he was killed, and that in any way brought shame upon his clan, it would be a problem for his granddaughter Hotaru, the current champion, among others in the Crane clan. And also, I'd find it very beneficial if you and the Topaz champion, who is allowed to investigate such matters regardless of clan affiliation, were to resolve this matter. It would definitely ingratiate yourself well with the Crane clan, which is very important given their and your clan's current antagonism towards one another. That is the request that I have of you, the both of you. You, Daishi-san, as my subordinate, and you, Shizuka-san, as the less well-known and currently under suspicion. No one outside of those in this room, and Dakio-san, knows that you are now potentially in my favor again. To the rest of the outside court and the outside world, I don't like you. I feel that you've been forced upon me. Use that, if you can. Walk that line. And we'll go back to the other scene. So, Dakio-san, Kinsuke-san, do either of you have any questions for me?
My primary charge is still Isao Kaede, and will continue to defend her with my life. And as long as looking out for the young Bayushi doesn't conflict with that, then I am all for keeping an eye out for him.
We, myself and my friend, don't believe that it will, but if it does, we will understand where your allegiances are, and we will not hold it against you.
Thank you.
To what extent of proprietary are we allowed to greet and address the young potential champion?
If you are in private, greet him as the respect is due. If you are public, I ask that you greet him as you would any other samurai of our clan.
How much are we allowed to approach him and be familiar with him?
You may approach and be familiar with him. This is, I think it would very much upset his mother if he at least didn't try to become involved in the politics of the court.
All right.
So,
and what was the tea in Totori's tent or his room when I met him?
What was the tea?
Yeah, what was the tea?
We'll say that it was jasmine.
And I'll ask him, have you had any enjoyable cups of jasmine tea lately?
He narrows his eyes. I enjoy walking in jasmine gardens, but I have not been able to sample any tea as of late. It would be inappropriate of me to do so. Jasmine is not a favored form of tea among our clan, as you know. But thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the tea, enjoy the food, and you may leave whenever you see fit. And he leaves the room, leaving the two of you to roleplay yourselves how you see fit.
You're wondering about the tea, aren't you, Shizuka? Sorry, Shiba. Fuck now.
Shiba. I pick up the tea and I smell it. And I smell the tea.
It's not jasmine tea. That's not the point. It's
Oh, okay. For a second, I'm like, have we been poisoned?
No, we haven't been poisoned.
Okay.
Although it wouldn't be hard to poison us, let's be honest, because no one actually saw us come in here, and no one knows we're in here.
The tea that you're currently drinking is a simple, unfermented white that actually has a little bit of spice to it. Dakio, you know that very clearly he enjoys some unicorn spices in his tea, so he's put in a little bit in there and mixed it with the pot. But otherwise, it's an unornamented white.
I feel like I'm just gonna drink it plain faced and And Sheba's just gonna look at me like, "Oh God, Takio, it is poisoned." No, it's just unicorn spices. No, I think we're poisoned. No, we're not. It's just unicorn spices. Please calm down. You okay, Dave?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Oh fuck, we've been poisoned.
No, we haven't been poisoned. It's just spicy tea. I don't know why
Okay.
he's spicing his tea, but it
It's
tastes very odd.
if those are unicorn spices, I'm supposed to defend Isawa Kaede from the unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Perhaps he is applying either a little double agentry in there, or he knows something's coming up. And if that is the case, I'm going to finish my rice and get back to Kaede.
That would be a good decision. It's more than likely that he heard it firsthand from the unicorn during an exchange, but there's no way to know definitively, and you certainly can't accuse him of that in court
Yes.
for obvious reasons, because he wouldn't have told us if he didn't expect us to deal with it.
We should also compare notes as to where the young Bayushi is, and if we need quote unquote backup.
We are going to deal with Bayushi Kachiko. We could have a legion of samurai and it wouldn't do a damn bit of good.
Quickly eating between sentences here. With all, with minimum due respect. Because I feel like I should be getting back to Kaede sooner than later.
Yes, I'm just eating slower because...
Well, you don't have as much haste.
Well, it's more so there's very little I can do to actually protect her physically, apart from functioning as a makeshift form of ballista. No, not ballista. Pillory? No. What is the word?
Speed
Barricade that is hastily put together and it's a bunch of stakes in the ground.
Palisade.
Palisade. Thank you.
Ah, yes.
A little more than a one wound taking palisade.
Who is this? The young Bayushi.
He is the son of our clan champion. Next in line to become, I suppose, the head of the Scorpion clan and the underhand of the Emperor.
And they are projecting that he's going to be the champion at the Chrysanthemum tournament?
No, he's far too young for that. He hasn't even had his Genpuku ceremony. It's just, well, there's some debate as to whether or not the Honorable Lady Kachiko has raised him well.
Mike,
Wait.
make a would it be history? No. We can do history if you have it, or if you're trying to draw connections between previous plot. If there's a skill for that, you can.
I imagine if I was to guess it, that would just be
Investigation would also work.
Yeah.
That's fine. Takio, you begin to draw connections, previous information, things that you'd heard at court. When you heard Dairu's name, you thought, wait a minute, that name does sound familiar, and you started drawing connections, and you recall hearing about a scorpion who was approaching his Genpuku, but you didn't know of his association with Kachiko. And something that was very odd about this particular scorpion is that his eyes were not black. His eyes were not black or brown or the traditional scorpion colors in genealogy. This is a scorpion who has very light blue eyes. And now you also know that Kachiko is this particular scorpion's mother.
Takio legitimately stops.
Are you quite all right, Bayushi?
No,
So-
I am dying. Oh no.
You have been poisoned.
No, no, it wasn't the tea. It was facts.
You've been poisoned with facts.
Poisoned with facts and
no.
knowledge?
You'd be quite all right.
No, I may die from what I have concluded. Ha! Ha! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh
So
no!
we'll leave that there. Moving back to Shizuka and Daishi.
Oh no.
You want us to investigate Satsume Sama? Is it
Yeah.
Sama?
Sama's,
for me?
oh yeah, oh it's Sama. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Satsume Sama's killer, but do you have any suspicions on who that might be? It's a very large pool.
I will get to I do have some suspicions and I will send them to your rooms.
Okay.
I don't want to speak them here.
You say that you believe that they are here within the city, or here currently within the building?
I would certainly hope not in this particular building. Most of the people in the next room are allies and friends, but anything is possible.
It is true. This is assume, but just for clarity, to be kept between Akoto-san and myself.
Correct. As I said, I brought in Akoto-san because she is not in the same position as you are in terms of our society, and unfortunately, she is under scrutiny at the moment. So, if she is asking untoward questions, then it would not be entirely unexpected of her. Might be unexpected for most lion, but perhaps not for a lion who, unfortunately, so recently tried to use underhanded tactics to win a tournament.
Or so that
I'm not saying,
has been
Shizuka-san,
yes.
that is what I believe.
Yes, of course.
You are, respectfully, using the situation that is being thrust upon me against them.
Exactly. Likely that if he was murdered, considering the fact that there were no physical marks upon him, it was likely poison in and of itself that did the deed. That simply made it look like he died of old age and natural causes. He was, bless his soul, quite old.
In this society, would an autopsy have been done?
It would have been, but that is what resulted in them saying that he died of old age. The Shugenja would have done something. The spirits, who knows what the formal results are not known to you right now. You have to request them. But the Shugenja can do a form of spiritual autopsy, and the Kitsuki of your clan understand the concept of wound marks and poison and rotting skin and so on and so forth. Most of the rest of Rokugan doesn't actually consider physical evidence as evidence. It's purely, I am of a particular status and I say this happened, and if the gods gave me this status, therefore it's true. It's all testimony. That's how law, by and large, works in Rokugan.
It sucks.
And in the event that someone of higher status than yourself asks what we are investigating, we are to tell them?
Whatever you can. Don't tell them what you're doing.
Yes.
But do your best to ensure to not bring dishonor to your station or to yourself.
And what methods should I use in order to make sure that this doesn't get back to you?
Say that you are conducting an investigation out of personal interest. You can even use Yukimi-san as a method for that. She is a Kitsuki herself, and the Kitsuki have, as I've said, interest in digging deeper into the truth of things.
Last season, we had to save Doji Satsume's grandson.
Wakao, correct.
Wakao. All right.
Yep.
We can say it is out of respect for Wakao's family, especially
who would be Hotaru.
Especially since the fact that I was basically saying like, oh, I was being the instrument to kill Wakao, right? So therefore, I'm doing it to make up for Wakao.
You could.
Are there any others who are presently doing the same task or that are aware of this mission?
Not anymore. My current position after Satsume passed on, unfortunately, didn't allow me to continue my subordinate's investigation. And if I did continue to investigate something that wasn't in my current purview or entirely necessary, my rivals would have learned about it. And I would have been accused of favoritism and wasting resources when they could be better spent elsewhere. So someone is trying to ensure that the truth does not come out. Someone higher than me.
Understood.
Anyway, if there is nothing else, Shizuka-san, respectfully, please leave us. I would like to introduce Daishi to some other individuals.
Akoto-san?
And as you leave, Shizuka, Daishi, she looks up to you. You are now an esteemed company. The former Topaz champions are close-knit. They are tied by expectation, and they are tied by the weight of importance upon them. And as a result, care for one another a great deal. We become close friends. And over time, we continue to stay friends. And I would like to introduce you to some of those. And she stands up. Come. And as you step outside, you see Yukimi is here. You see a whole mixture and a range of individuals, various clans and ages. And it sort of hits you that there are a lot of elderly samurai here, which considering the lifestyle normally associated with a samurai, they don't live to old age, and it just hits home whenever you look at the age range around here that it really has been the moniker of you living in the 1,000 years of peace, where there has been no major war, no major invasion for over 1,000 years. It hits home because there's a whole the samurai are allowed to now grow old and live out their twilight years without dying in war and battle. It hits you in that moment. And she takes you across, and you wave hi to Yukimi, and you actually see in a corner, which you can do, which you can interact with next game. You see Matsusuko in this room as well. She was clearly a Topaz champion in her youth, which you were not aware of. And she's enjoying a good drink and a good game of Go.
Matsusuko?
The second in command of the Lion Legions.
Ah.
And you're brought to a table with a doji, a crane member, and another individual who is sort of retreated into the shadows. Clearly, does not want to be seen. When she approaches the table, the crane stands up and gives a deep bow to the Ruby Champion, and then the Ruby Champion actually kneels at the table and pulls on your robe, indicating for you to kneel as well.
I kneel immediately.
And a figure leans forward, coming out of the shadows, so you can see his beautiful face, long black hair, not tied in a top knot. He is wearing the underneath brown robes are emerald green robes that you sort of can see underneath the brown. And you can see that he actually is wearing a hood as well, but it's not on, it's down. And the crane, his face is pristine and porcelain and beautiful. And the crane leans in. Am I to understand that this is our new friend, Togashi Daishi-san? And Sumiko nods her head. Miyuki nods her head. It's like, it is. Oh then, Togashi Daishi-san, may I introduce Hante Daisetsu? Then you immediately recognize that name as the second imperial heir, the younger son of Emperor Hante the 38th, is sitting across from you. And he gives the most beautiful smile, and it immediately catches you and almost pulling you in. Welcome to our circle of friends. We will end session there.
Well, Mike's freaking out.
Turns out you can be poisoned with facts.
Guys, I'm not ready for this. I need to study more of the book. Fuck.
The book's not going to tell you because Devin's doing the new timeline for this guy. If you read the book about this guy, you would scream like I am.
I'm not going to read that part, but I need to know things. Oh,
yeah, well, we can ask questions between game. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
Sam should have won. Sam should have won. Please bring it back.
Sam should have won. No.
Too late, motherfucker.
So with the seeds planted for the rest of the season, we will end a game there. I am the storyteller for the session. Devin.
I'm Dave, playing Shiba Kinsuke.
I'm Mike, and I'm afraid.
Sam.
I'm Sam, and I played Akodo Chizuka.
I'm dumb, and I'm in way over my head.
His body's not ready.
Episode 5. Take care, Legion.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.